We have a WPC-95 driver board on the bench, and it was sent for general rehab. It was a shelf dweller, I guess I'll say, perhaps. So it just had years of crazy things done to it. Like there are a couple of these 6A4 diodes that were way up on stilts, so I fixed that and replaced these headers on the input side. 10,000 microfarad cap of the same form factor for the 5 volts. This is a 5 and 12 out GI headers, and on the back of the board I have incorporated 2 jumpers for the 2 GI strings that do not dim. That's these 2, and that's outlined in the pin wiki. All of this claptrap here has been and can be removed. Originally there were 6A2 diodes in there to they acted like voltage reduction diodes, and they got hot and they just destroy everything after a long time. If you have a driver board that's still got those 6A2s in there, I'd take those things out, and or you don't even have to take them out, but you should implement the jumpers as specified in the pin wiki. I also had to add another jumper to make sure that this 5th string that goes to the cabinet, like the coin door, was operational. I tested the voltage on that, and it is operational. The voltages coming off this board now are as shown, which is fine. 515 for the 5 volts is kind of high, but that doesn't really bother me that much. So we're into a general illumination test right now. I've already started it, and of course only the first 3 strings dim, so that's a good test right there. Let me back up now to solenoid test, and I do have the WPC-95 test ROM from the Planetary Pinball site, and you do need a test fixture security chip for that test ROM. So running to test the first 16 solenoids. And those are good. We'll test lamps and flashers at the same time. Those are all working correctly. And that's it. That's all there is to it. I mean, it took an hour or so, a little more of work to clean this thing up and make sure that we were getting all the traces routed correctly for this GI section. Miscellaneous cleanup, no transistors required replacement. Oh, and now I've got another one I'll show you in just a moment. Both these caps were blown. I don't know how that happens, but they were blown. There's some hinkiness still over here where some fuse holders were replaced at one time. It's just in the category of ugly, but it works, so I'm not going to bother to rehab that. In my opinion, there's no point in spending time fixing what is not broken. Thank you so much. Well, I just realized that Victor has provided facility for testing a couple other solenoids that are, I think, only used on WPC-95, and there's a ULN 2803 here and 4 small drive transistors, and they drive signals to the saucer on Attack from Mars, and they come off of this 0.100 connector, and Victor has provided facility. So let me keep the solenoid test running. So repeat now, I'll make it go, and we'll come back down here, and you'll see each of those. They're called control 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're operating correctly also. Let's see, I also neglected to do the flipper tests. We can do that too. Flipper coil, and I'll make it, let's switch it to running, and you'll see a short burst and then a long burst on the next LED, and that's the power stroke, and then the hold stroke. So this board is 100% functional.